Hello everyone. This is going to be a very different video on my channel. I'm going to be talking about some hard things, where I've been, and just kind of the reasoning behind it. I'm not going to promote this video in any way. This video is just strictly for the people that personally know me or just want to know what's going on with my life and what's sort of happened. I don't really owe anyone an explanation, but I feel since I do share my life here on the internet that I need to give some type of explanation for my absence. So I do have a Kleenex ready, and I do have a timeline that I have written out here so I don't forget anything, just because it's been over the span of 2 years, I'd say. And I don't know, I'm really nervous about this video. I feel really weird. I don't want to film it, but I do. I want to film it for my personal therapy, but also to just get it out there. And I want to be able to move on, because I know in my personal life I feel that I've moved on. Obviously you can never fully move on from certain things, but I feel as if I'm finally becoming at peace and I'm healing and grieving properly. So yeah, I don't really need any sympathy or anything like that. This is just for my personal therapy and healing, to finally vent this out to somebody, as well as so that way I feel like I don't have this big block and big elephant in the room that I just keep avoiding and keep trying to just be happy. I just want to explain how real life is, and that was kind of the whole process of starting a channel. So I have no clue if I'm gonna cry or if I'm gonna be bawling my eyes out. That's why I don't have any makeup on. I've been going through a hormonal breakout. You can't really tell, but I have a bunch of pimple patches on, and yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of start with what happened. So in February of 2018, I started my YouTube channel. So I've been on here for about 3 years now. I told myself if I was gonna do this, I was gonna go hard, and I was doing pretty well. Up until that summer and all that. I was job hopping, so I had a lot of free time to do that. And in October of that year, when I finally got like another pharmacy job, I decided to take a social media break, because I wanted to see if it took like 2 months, how long it would, I wanted to see if I took a 2-month social media break, how that would affect my life, as I was in school at the time and I was just really stressed out and trying to balance work, school, and social media all full time. Just never works out, it seems like. So I took a break in October 2018. I came back either, I think, December or the beginning of January, like right around there. December 2018 and January of 2019. Came back right around that time and had made a post saying I was gonna make my social media experiment video. And I realized when I came back, I wanted to go longer and see how long I could do. So fast forward to October of 2019. Well, actually, so in January of 2019, that's when I decided to take the social media break again and extend it even longer. And in July of 2019, that's when I decided to drop out of college. I did this because I'll probably make a whole video on it, but there's so much that went into my 5 years of doing it. I, major hopped, all that. I was very depressed, and I just realized, let me bet on me for once and let me not bet on school all the time, because it was never decided in that area anyway. So that's a different story. Fast forward from July to October, of 2019, I finally decided that I wanted to come back from my social media break. I was very excited. We were going to LA the first week of October for our anniversary, and I wanted to film a video there on like the balcony or something, kind of come back and saying, here's how my social media experiment went, with like a cool background, I guess. Then 2 days before we were supposed to leave, on September 30th, I reconnected with my estranged father that I had not seen or spoken to in about 5 years, I'd say. 4 or 5 years at that time. And the circumstances were really sad, because he was slowly dying. So on September 29th is when I saw him for the first time. My grandpa was in contact with him, and he kind of acted like he didn't want me to visit, but at the same time, he didn't want a lot of people to visit. So since I worked at the hospital he was staying at, and my family was given the information, I was doing everything legally, I decided that I would go in and say hi. He didn't recognize me at first. I had to go in and garb up and stuff. I had a mask on and all that, and then I pulled my mask down and he was like, "Oh honey," and gave me a hug. So I know he was happy to see me, but at the same time, like, we didn't have any closure, and my whole experience with my father is a whole other video. I've never came out about that, but I was mentally abused as a child. I was never physically abused. I was scared that that would happen, but that never happened. But there's a lot of mental things that went on. I don't know if I'll ever share that, but basically that's why I didn't talk to him or see him. Anyways, back to the rekindling. And so I'm sitting there talking to him and stuff. And my whole motive into going into this was just to be nice. Not to really like say anything about the past, and not really anything about the future, because I don't know how long he's going to stay alive for, as sad as that sounds, and two, I don't know if I want to be in his life after this, whether he is dying or not. It all depends on his actions and how he treats me, is kind of how I looked at it. But I want to be nice to you for the remainder of the time, or whatever's going on. I don't know, it was very weird. I feel like I went through 3 stages of life all at once. You know, rekindling with my father, taking care of him, and then him passing away all within 7 days. Technically 2 week span, but like I said, I was gone for that whole week in LA, so it was 7 days I had with him. So back to September the 29th, we're still meeting, the doctor's coming in the room, and everything gets started, basically. Like, do you want Aaron to be your power of attorney? Yes. I'm confused what all this terminology is. I'm going on vacation in 2 days, you know, just trying to get everything figured out. The rest is kind of a blur that day. Next day I go in, you know, talk to him, all that, let him know, you know, I'm going to California with my boyfriend, and that I'll be gone for a week, but then I'll be back, and then I'll be back working and stuff. And it was just kind of a blur. That day was very, very fast paced. I had a lot of things to fill out, forms to do, things to try to understand, to ask people about, all while making sure when I get off at 10 o'clock that I get packed and ready to wake up at 3 a.m. to leave for my flight that leaves at like 5 a.m. So it was weird. So I got, you know, 3 hours of sleep that night, get on the plane the next day, and being told he'll be discharged, whatever. And as I'm waking up, this, I don't know their title, but some doctor, person, whatever, calls me, and I can't even focus at this point. I'm jet lagged. Long story short, you know, I kind of get information, and this is all just kind of a blur now. I feel like I've dealt with it, and now I'm trying to rewrite it in my mind or something, because I can barely remember. I've kind of erased the trauma. But that whole week I just felt really weird. And I just remember just being numb and feeling dead. I was so excited to go there, and then when all that happened, I didn't even care. I didn't have any emotion, really. It was just weird. And so fast forward, as soon as I get home, a week later, I get a text that night that he's getting the ambulance called on him, and he's going back to the hospital. So the next day I'm going back into work, because I worked 7 on 7 off at that point, and I'm working in the ER as a pharmacy technician. And so he's in there, I go in, you know, try to figure out what his medicine is. He's kind of loopy, so I think that, you know, he's being diagnosed with, I didn't mention that, he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And was given a month to 2 months to live, but, or I think 6 months in August when he had originally got it, like, when he had originally been seen or something. I'm not really sure, because I wasn't talking to him at that time. And so, yeah, so then he went back to the hospital, and 6 days later, and during that time span, I'm working really hard, making phone calls, I'm doing this, I'm paying his bills, I'm working with his neighbor, I'm talking to this, I'm doing this, this, and this, talking to nurses, talking to this, all working. And this was gonna be my 12-day shift, because I took 5 days for the other girl. very weird time frame and situation. So long story short, all that's happening, and his phone's getting misplaced during this time. I saw it there right in front of him on the thing on a Wednesday, and then the next day I didn't see it, and I kept asking the nurses about it. Never saw it. I did end up finding it, but it all just led to that I think it was somebody that did something wrong and then ended up feeling bad. But I blamed it on the hospital, but I still felt as though somebody did come into the hospital room, because it was at the hospital and then it was found at his house. So I feel somebody did come into his hospital room and take his belongings, and then they felt bad, and they had access to his home at the time, and then they put the items back so I could find them. Which is very unfortunate, but still, I felt the hospital still should be held responsible and still should be monitoring these things, because after talking to people, other people had things stolen, and yeah. So anyways, fast forward 6 days. He's getting worse, you know, and like the second to last day, I was gonna do his beard for him, with like just like the little electric razor, not anything, because I'm scared to shave someone else's face. That sounds very scary to me. And thank God his cousin, you know, she got a hold of me and she came to the hospital, and I couldn't clean him that day. He was getting really angry with me, but she came in and she did a really nice job. She has some caretaking experience, I believe, and she cleaned him right up, and he let her. And, you know, she got his mouth done, and she shaved him, and she did his hair. So then when the nurses did it, they didn't have as much to do. And that was his last night. And I knew it was gonna be. I just kind of had a feeling, I don't know why. I just did. So I kissed him for the first time on his forehead and told him it was okay, because, you know, I had to go home and go to sleep, and I was going to turn my phone on do not disturb that night, and I did. And it was better than waking up, because I didn't want to go to the hospital and see it. His cousin did, and then once I got the call, I released the body, but I didn't go see. I didn't need to. I saw enough the days before, and how sad that was, and how he was struggling and hurting and pain and stuff. You know, I even had to go and ask the nurse, like, hey, it's been 4 hours. Like, I know they're so busy, but he was in pain an hour ago. So I just wanted to make sure right at 9:25, when she said he could have it, that she was going into his room and giving it. So I was probably a bitch to them, but I did it in a nice way. I was just stern, because anybody would be. And if you have the power to be in that area, especially working there, you can hopefully pull some strings and get them to do their stuff a little bit quicker. I don't know. I was just trying to help. So long story short, he passed away. And after that, I just really felt numb. I was given 2 days off, and then I felt guilt tripped. Maybe I wasn't, maybe it was just all on me, so I don't want to put this on the hospital, but I felt like I needed to come back and cover the shifts that I said that I was going to cover, since they gave me those 2 days off. So I went right back to work 2 days after. And then I had to start working on all this stuff. You know, he didn't have a will or any of that. I had to start working on his house, his finances, all that. I didn't want to. As much as I would love to, like, renovate a house and do all that, I did. When I went to his home, it was just really sad. I could see where he struggled, because he couldn't, like, walk and stuff like that. Like, the lung cancer made it to where he was, like, having a bunch of, like, nerve pain and muscle pain or something. And I just saw where he struggled, you know. So I told my mom I don't want to, but luckily my mother stepped in. God bless her. I really appreciate everything she's helped, you know, do in this process. And she decided that we would fix up his house, we would get, you know, all his finances straight, figure everything out, whatever, flip it, yada yada. So from October the 15th, when he died, 2019, all the way until June 2020, we worked on his house. Now during this time, I'm working full time. I'm not in school, but I'm trying to grieve. I'm trying to understand. Like I said, 3 things happened at once. Rekindled, trying to take care of all his stuff pre-passing, and then he passed away, and taking care of stuff after death. And during this time, I never told him how I felt. I never told him about anything in the past. I was just nice to him and just there in the present. I was just trying to help him, being a nice person. because how I saw it was his mindset is the most important thing. If he's, you know, in a good mood, my daughter loves me, my daughter, you know, it may make him, you know, progress to living longer versus, oh, my daughter doesn't want to talk to me, oh, you know, just bad thoughts. So I never got closure either. So from, you know, the end of this in October in 2019 to June of 2020, I just felt numb. I didn't really feel emotions. Life was just really weird. It was just, every day was something different. It was wake up, do the house, wake up or go to work. Wake up, do the house. I'm thankful for the experience, and I'm thankful that I did it with my mom, but the emotional aspect of it and the grieving aspect, I don't think it was the right decision that I should have did. But I didn't know. I couldn't feel anything in that moment. How are you to know until after? Sometimes you don't know anything until you're exposed or you do it. So I looked at my boyfriend in December as we're working on the house and stuff, and I'm like, hey, we should move away. And I remember at that exact moment, I didn't have any emotion. I just kind of said it, and I went with it. And so I worked really hard. And you know, one of the things of grieving that I was told is don't put all your energy into this, that, or the other. My camera's gonna die, let me restart it. Okay, we're back. So one of the things with grieving that I was told was, you know, don't put all your anger or your energy into this, like basically fighting with the nurses in the hospital, because there was a lot more that went down, but it was just so much. I don't remember, I don't talk about it, and I don't really know what was right or wrong. I don't know if they tried to push me to the side or if I really was in the wrong. I have no clue. So during this time, you know, they say don't put all your energy into that because then you won't be able to grieve. And I think I did put all my energy into, let's get this move, let's get this plan, let's get this going, let's blah, blah, blah. Because as January hit, boom, we're planning our trip to Las Vegas in March, and I'm working on the house. I need to make sure that when we go there in March, if we like it, we come back in June before our lease is up in end of July, and we get a place, and we get it for the beginning of July, so that way we can already get it while we take our next vacation out here, and then we can get all the stuff, and then when we come and drive, we'll already have a bed here. So I had it all planned out, and that was my thing. In March, we took the trip while the house was getting finished renovated, and then we put our house, and then we liked it, and we decided, okay, we'll come back in June and we'll, you know, talk to our realtor, all that. So I'm getting a hold of the realtor, and then what time was it? No, so when end of May, we ended up being able to list the house. I think at the end of April, we were able to list the house, and then in the beginning of May, the house was bought, but then we were going back and forth with, I forget what it's called, counter offers. Yeah, I think so. And finally, the house got sold on June 5th. But in May, I had to quit and put in a 1-month notice. So on June 5th, so it was really crazy how fast everything went. I put my notice in on May 9th. June 5th, the house sold. June 9th, that was my last day at my job, and luckily I was able to, you know, transfer, and they were making it a virtual position, but during the move, I'm not gonna be working. I have to work on moving. So for 2 months I was off. I just had PTO, which was really nice of them, and it ended up working out in my favor to do that. But June 9th, it was my last day, so the house sold June 5th, last day June 9th, and then on June 11th, me and my mom decided to donate and cut all of our hair off. So that was another big project. And then on June 12th, we had our rummage sale, the 12th and the 13th, our neighborhood rummage sale, and made like $400 that weekend. But I helped her clean out her complete entire house of like random stuff, my house, and then we did her whole garage and the attic, because that was one thing I wanted to do before I moved, and something that she needed help with. The other house projects she can do, but that was just something that she really needed me to do. And we wouldn't have did the rummage sale if either one of us weren't involved. I think it was a 2-person project. And we made, you know, a profit. And the next week after that, boom, what is it, June 15th, I'm taking a flight to Vegas again, working with my realtor that week, finding this place, getting the application put in, but we only did it on the last day. So then boom, I'm back in Indiana. That next week I'm working, and then boom, the last week of June, I'm coming here during the 4th of July week or whatever as well. Because I think our last day here was the 29th through the 5th, and then boom, coming here on the 29th, we're signing our lease, we're coming here, getting all of our shopping done for our couch, our bed, all that. We ended up only getting the bed because you know, you always think you can do so much more in the time frame that you have than what you really can. And then boom, go back to Indiana, and July 20th, we are leaving to come here in a U-Haul, and all 5 of us with 3 of our friends. So boom, 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 it was quick. So I didn't get to grieve, and this whole time I'm thinking I have emotions, but I don't know. And as soon as we get here in July of 2020, boom, I feel everything. As the first day happens, I feel anxiety, I feel emotions, I feel everything, which is great from a healing aspect, but terrible because I don't know what's going on. Still working at the hospital, about to start, you know, this new virtual position. So just kind of navigating through all that and all the new life stuff here. And what we did was I waited. So then I waited 2 months, and then I started working like end of August. I worked there all the way until March, and I just realized that this job is still always connected to my dad. There's a lot of other things too, like the pay. They cut off raises in 2020, the year of COVID. They did not offer any COVID relief bonus or anything when I was the frontline ER worker, and they, in my opinion, were sometimes not handling and marking the COVID things correctly, and we weren't allowed to have PPE because we weren't supposed to go into the COVID suspected patients' rooms. But sometimes you go out of the room and then boom, now they're COVID suspected, and you're like, but I get that things happen. It just irks me. So they took away raises, they took away COVID relief, and I just felt like there was no room to grow. And especially the fact that it's still connected to my dad, and I feel like that there's just this animosity between me and the hospital now. I realized I don't really want to work in the medical field, and just a bunch of different things happened, and it just really made me upset and depressed. And on top of having all those emotions that hit as soon as we get here. So in March, I worked there for about, 8 months, whatever. I can't think of the math right now. My brain is like fried at this point. But I decided to quit my job in March. And it was the best decision for me. Maybe not financially, but I mean, I have funds that I'm okay. But I really needed to heal, and I really needed to focus on my other projects, like getting a car and stuff. And that's been a whole other task too. So I'm just letting God kind of direct things and learning how to handle everything. But right now I'm just working on being healed. I'm still unemployed as of July, but it's because I felt too depressed to even, I just felt like, how can I work at a job when I feel like I just want to cry all the time? How can I work at a job when I can't even be nice or control my emotions? I just felt really out of whack, but this made me feel so much better, and now I feel like I'm at a place of good healing to where I'm ready to start searching again. I'm ready to apply, and I'm ready to get back into a routine to where then I can start working on other projects, whether those take the place of a job or in addition to my job, that fulfill me again, like how YouTube did. And I feel like right when I was about to come back, everything broke loose. The first time with school, and the second time with my dad's passing. And I'm just ready to heal, and I'm so I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulder just talking to you guys on a camera, even though I'm literally talking to myself, which is even better. And being able to finally put this information out there, so now I can start making regular videos and making happy videos and feeling happy, but not feeling like I'm holding back or I'm lying about something, because I want this to be an authentic channel and about real things in real life, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. But yeah, that's pretty much where everything's been, and I'm just trying to work on me, you know, having these anger management, the things that I went through as a child, and trying to just learn that I suppressed that, and I always told myself, oh, other people have it worse than you, which is true, but that doesn't mean I should disacknowledge, you know, all the things that are wrong with me. I need to acknowledge that and understand what happened, and I'm a product of where I came from, and to understand my triggers and just work on things. So I'm really gonna be working on myself, and I really want to document a lot of different things going forward, but this was the first step to coming back, was telling you everything that's happened the past couple years. It's been very quickly, and every time I want to come back, something else happens. So God is doing something in my life to lead me right to this moment. Any other time I've thought about filming this video, it's been a dread, but today, you know, I woke up, I took today really slow, and I feel like today was the day. Thank you for watching this, and I will have, you know, my social media break video coming next here soon. That's going to be the next big project that I'm working on, but I wanted to put this out there first so everyone kind of knows what has been going on. So I'm sorry if I didn't share big experiences like moving out of state, moving across the country, and all those things, because that time of my life was not the best. And I'm sorry I didn't do my social media break video 2 years ago, but I still plan on doing that. I still plan on doing a lot of the videos that I already planned with Balling on a Budget as well. And I'm just really looking forward to moving forward and healing from this. I want to go to therapy. There's a lot of different things that I want to start doing to heal, but taking the time off to grieve and, you know, quitting that job and dropping out of college at the time I did. Thank God I dropped out of college, or I would have never passed during that time. So yeah, I'm really thankful, even though everything, you know, may seem like a lesson, it is a blessing in disguise as well. But thank you for watching this video, and I really appreciate that you care. I'm gonna probably do some shadow work journaling here in a second and just take a real easy day before I get back into the swing of recording again. So thanks, and I'll talk to you guys later.